am seeing it, but my brain refuses to process it. It is August 1914. The sun is burning the back of my neck. The air is thick, heavy with the smell of dust, cut hay, and the cheap, sour sweat of thousands of men marching towards a horizon they do not understand. I am marching alongside the 27th Infantry Regiment of France, and the first thing that jumps out isn't the weapons. It isn't the faces. It is the color. Red. A vivid, screaming red. Bright. Garants. While the Germans are hidden in their field gray uniforms, perfectly camouflaged in the fog and mud of the modern age. The French army decided to march into the 20th century, dressed as if they were going to an opera parade in the days of Napoleon. Dark blue coats that absorb the heat, screaming red trousers that reflect the sun. We look like toy soldiers. We look like targets. I look to the side and see the face of the soldier marching on my right flank. His name is Jean. Jean has no beard. His skin is smooth. It has that soft peach fuzz on the face that only those who have never really shaved have. He hasn't even lost the softness of childhood around his jawline. They were boys. Most of them were not older than 19. They had never held a girl properly. They had never tasted strong wine. They had never voted. Jean smiles at me, adjusting his heavy backpack, shifting the weight of a rifle that looks too big for his shoulders. He says, "Hey, don't worry. We'll be in Berlin before the leaves fall. Home for Christmas." My mother is already knitting a scarf for the victory parade. I feel a lump in my throat, hard as a stone. Because I know what Jean doesn't know. I know what is waiting for them 3 kilometers from here. It is not an adventure. It is not a parade. It is an industrial meat grinder designed by engineers to erase human beings efficiently. Jean thinks he is immortal because he is 19. He thinks war is about courage. But that red fabric on his legs, it isn't a uniform. It is a target. A neon target screaming to the German Maxim machine guns hidden in the tree line. "Shoot here. We are right here." The march stopped abruptly. The silence in the wheat fields is heavy, unnatural. Even the birds seem to have fled, sensing the vibration in the earth that we cannot feel yet. Suddenly, a sound. It is not a shot. It is not thunder. It is like a freight train passing through the sky directly above our heads. Vroom. The earth shakes before the explosion even hits. It's a deep rumble that you feel in your teeth. When the German shell hits the ground, 200 meters ahead, it is not like in the movies. There is no glorious ball of fire. There is only a sudden eruption of black earth, thick smoke, and pieces of things that shouldn't be flying. Metal, wood, flesh. The officers, mounted on horses, sitting high above us like statues from another era. They are wearing white gloves. White gloves, my God. In the middle of a muddy field. They draw their swords. Yes, swords. Steel blades against heavy artillery that can kill from miles away. The captain screams, his voice cracking with an old-world pride. "En avant, à la baïonnette, for France!" And this is where the crime happens. This is the moment history breaks. I see the 19-year-old boys, Jean and his school friends, coming out of the protection of the trees. They run into the open field. They don't crawl. They don't hide. They run upright, chests out. The sun hits the red trousers. It is beautiful in a terrible way. It is heroic, and it is absolute suicide. On the other side of the field, 800 meters away, invisible men behind water-cooled steel barrels adjust their sights. The German machine guns open fire. The sound, tuck, 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 tuck. It is not rhythmic. It is continuous. It sounds like canvas being ripped by a giant hand. It sounds like a sewing machine stitching death. I throw myself on the ground, burying my face in the dirt, tasting the metallic copper taste of blood in my mouth. Around me, the golden wheat begins to get stained with red. And it is not the trousers anymore. It is the life flowing out of a generation. I hear Jean scream. It cuts through the mechanical noise. It is not a man's scream. It is not a soldier's cry. It is a child's scream calling for his mother in the dark. Mama, Mama, it burns. I crawl to him, dragging my body through the mud, trying to stay low. He is holding his stomach, trying to keep himself together. The blue and red uniform is now one thing, dark, damp, and ruined. He looks at me, eyes wide with shock, pupils dilated, not understanding how the world changed in 10 seconds. Why don't they stop? He whispers, blood bubbling at the corner of his lips. We just wanted to get to Berlin. We didn't do anything wrong. The French tactic was called Elan, the spirit of attack, the will to conquer. The generals believed that French courage was stronger than German steel. They believed that if you ran fast enough, the bullets wouldn't hit you. They were wrong. They were criminally wrong. I see waves and waves of these boys being mowed down. They fall in lines like wheat before a scythe. It is mechanical. It is industrial. It has no emotion. The Germans don't even need to aim properly. They just point at the bright red spots moving in the green field and hold the trigger. We made it easy for them. I try to pull Jean into a crater opened by a shell, a small island of safety in this ocean of fire. His weight is dead weight. He feels heavier now than he did alive. Around us, the generation of 1914 is being erased from history. Teachers who will never teach, bakers who will never make bread, poets who will never write another line, peasants who just wanted to harvest their crops. All low, under 20, all wearing the target, all betrayed by their own uniform. An officer still standing, waving his sword, tries to reorganize the line, shouting orders that no one can hear. He is hit instantly. He drops like a puppet with cut strings. There is no glory here. There are no heroes in the face of a machine gun. There is just the brutal efficiency of German engineering crashing against the stubbornness of French pride. Jean squeezes my hand. The strength is leaving his fingers, fading away like water in the sand. He says nothing profound. There are no beautiful last words like in the books. He just stops. His chest stops moving. His gaze becomes fixed on the blue August sky, an indifferent sky that watches us die without blinking. I look at his trousers, that damned red. The French Parliament debated this years before. I remember reading about it. They said, "Le Pantalon rouge, c'est la France." The red trousers are France. They said changing the uniform to a muddy color would be cowardice. They said it would undermine the army's prestige. So they kept the red, now lying in the mud, next to the body of a boy who will never kiss a girl, never have children, never grow old. I realized that national pride killed more Frenchmen today than German bullets ever could. We dressed them for a funeral before they even left Paris. Night has fallen. The shooting has finally stopped, replaced by a silence that is even worse. Now, only the moans of the wounded in no man's land can be heard. Thousands of voices crying out for water, for help, for their mothers, a chorus of ghosts. I am shaking. Not from cold, although the night is chill. I am shaking from the adrenaline that has turned into poison in my blood. My hands won't stop trembling. The survivors, the few left from Jean's platoon, are digging. They are not digging graves, not yet. They are digging holes to hide. They are clawing at the earth with their fingernails like animals. It is the birth of the trenches, the end of the war of movement, and the beginning of the war of mud. They use bayonets, hands, helmets, tin cans, anything to get below the surface. They tear their uniforms. They take handfuls of wet earth and smear it over their coats. They try to cover the red with mud. They try to erase the color of France. They learned in one single afternoon what the generals took decades to ignore. In modern war, to be visible is to be dead. To be colorful is to be a corpse. France will change the uniform. Next year, the horizon blue will come. The red will disappear, but it will be too late for Jean. It will be too late for the 27,000 French soldiers who died just on August 22nd. 27,000 men in one single day, the bloodiest day in French history. They were boys. They went to war thinking it was a sport, a great adventure to prove their manhood, and the 20th century welcomed them with a meat grinder. If you close your eyes now, can you still hear the sound of that day? Not the sound of gunshots, not the explosions, but the sound of innocence being shattered forever. The sound of a world breaking apart. I saw the beginning of the end of the world, and the color of the end of the world was red. Our journey through time doesn't end here. Leave the modern world behind and join me in the next chapter of history. Click the video on your screen to continue the adventure.